A man sentenced to life in prison with what seemed like no chance of getting out is now free. And the judge who locked him away, well, he's the one who believed that former inmate deserved a second chance. CBS's Scott McFarland has the story.
Until a few months ago, Walter Johnson had never touched a cell phone.
Good morning, young ladies and gentlemen.
But now he's already a social media influencer.
This is all about change and transformation.
And a life coach with a following.
Society don't owe me anything, but I owe society everything.
28 years ago, he had a different title. King Tut, a notorious New York criminal executing a string of violent armed robberies, including of churches and subway cars. On his third conviction, he was sentenced to 5 life prison sentences by federal judge Frederic.
My only expectation was to leave prison with a toe tag.
Mr. Johnson, welcome to court.
Last summer, it was Block, still on the bench at 90 years old, who decided to release Johnson. When it finally sunk in, you were going to be released. What did it feel like?
That was the best day of my life.
Now 61, Johnson was a model inmate during 3 decades in prison, mentoring, contributing, so much so it caught the judge's eye.
We don't let everybody out of jail. People like you who are deserving, who's showing that they have rehabilitated themselves in jail, are the ones who we let out.
In a landmark ruling, the judge acknowledged he was inexperienced when he handed down the initial sentence, and that the rarely used 1990s 3 strikes law, which required life sentences for some third criminal offenses, was antiquated and too inflexible. Using a new provision in the 2018 First Step Act Justice Reform Law, Johnson filed hundreds of pages of motions seeking early release. And with a letter of support from one of his victims, he succeeded.
Everything was lifted that day, thanks to Judge Block.
The Justice Department opposed the release, arguing Johnson's rehabilitation and remorse were not sufficiently extraordinary and compelling. But their argument failed before a judge who now encourages his colleagues in more U.S. states to consider second-chance laws, to review the life terms given to teens and young offenders decades ago.
Well, I think the message is really one of redemption. It's one of hope. And without hope, people have no reason to continue to live.
Scott McFarland, CBS News, New York.
Bebo.